Good afternoon. I'm Charles Nash, the Board Chair for Muskegon County. And today we are writing to the Deputy State Director of Emergency Management and Homeland Security, Emergency Management and Homeland Security Division, Michigan State Police, District 6 Emergency Management and Homeland Security Division Coordinator. On June 25th, 2024, Muskegon County sustained widespread severe damage, injuries, or property damage caused by two severe storm systems. As a result of this situation, the following conditions exist: substantial damage to critical infrastructure, including electric utilities throughout the county, significant damage to private property in multiple municipalities, and considerable hazardous debris impacting emergency response on state and local roads. Therefore, as the board chairperson of Muskegon County, in accordance with Section 10 of 1976, Public Act 390, as amended, I hereby declare that a state of emergency exists within our jurisdiction as of June 25th, 2024, and that local resources are being utilized to the fullest extent possible. The response and recovery elements of our emergency operations plan have been activated. And this is signed by myself, the board chair. And at this time, I will introduce our emergency manager, Renee Gavin.
Good afternoon. Renee Gavin, Muskegon County Emergency Manager. Just going to give you a little update on what we've been doing the last couple days, and then we'll have some time for questions afterwards after we get updates from our other local partners. So yesterday we requested resources for damage assessment, and this morning we had a number of damage assessment teams that were assembled in the EOC. We sent them out today to do damage assessment, and they've been gathering that data. It's not going to be finished today, but we'll be working on it and sending those teams out again tomorrow. One of the things that will really help us is that there is a self-reporting survey link. We've shared that on our social media. If you have damage and you have not already reported that on that self-survey link, please go to our Facebook page or social media, find that survey link, and do a self-report of damage to your property. That will help us be able to focus our damage assessment teams on those areas and get some data and pictures. If you do not have electricity, if you need assistance filling out that self-survey, you can call 211 and they will do it for you over the phone. They'll ask you the questions, you'll just give them the answers, and they will populate that survey for you. Hopefully that will help anyone. If anybody has any problems or questions or needs any services, please call 211 and they will refer to the proper agencies to help you with that, or to emergency management. Right now I'm going to have Chief Gagnon from Norton Shores talk about a little bit of stuff, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Thank you, Renee. Good afternoon. Just a quick update on what's going on the fire department side of things. Fire departments within Muskegon County are working very hard in the affected areas and working on mitigating a lot of the incidents that are up there. They're working tirelessly with staff with doing emergency assessments, damage assessments, trying to get into the affected areas. They're handling calls that are still coming in of downed wires and stuff that are found, and that we kind of predict that to be happening in the coming days. But the crews are out there. They're working hard to get the roadways back open, and they will continue to do so until every road is open. So, thank you.
Now we're going to hear from Drew Nichols from the Muskegon County Road Commission, and he's going to give an update on the roads.
Thank you, Renee. Drew Nichols, Muskegon County Road Commission, Maintenance Superintendent. I'm in charge of operations. As you can see, this map behind me, Muskegon County Road Commission maintains and services around 1,100 miles of roads, including 329 miles of state trunk line. The areas in gray are municipalities. All the municipalities have their own DPW that takes care of their own roads and services their customers there. As you can see, the large portion is highlighted. Pink roads are deemed open and passable to traffic. The the yellow and the orange are deemed impassable at this time. When I say deemed, a lot of these roads that are labeled in pink may still have obstructions on the edges. Anything out on the roads is coned off, barricaded, or has some sort of traffic control device that's warning residents that are on the roads to avoid that. These yellow roads that we have highlighted right now, there are currently crews working on those at this time. Our process as the road commission, we are clearing trees that do not have power lines or utility lines involved. So when the storm first came out, we were scattered around the entire county, covering as many quadrants as we could at once. We're kind of to the point now, we're working one-on-one with the electric companies. They're clearing lines, we're right behind them clearing those out. I want to make it clear, traffic signals, there's a lot of them that are still dark in our county right now. Those need to be treated as a four-way stop until we restore power. My crews are working completely around the clock, 16-hour shifts. When the storm first began, we had approximately 60 to 70 miles of road that were deemed impassable. And we are right now down to about 4 or 5 miles of road with crews actively working on them right now. Everything's fluid at the moment. We just had to shut down Russell Road for the Consumers Energy to install new poles. So even though it's pink, everyone needs to be very diligent, very careful in their travels. Trees are still coming down, so everyone needs to be very aware of that. Thank you.
I have Norm Kapla from, I'm sorry I said your name wrong. Kapala. Norm Kapala from Consumers Energy, and he's going to give an update on the power line and utility situation.
Thank you, Renee, and good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to start by thanking Muskegon County for providing Consumers Energy an opportunity to give an update on our current restoration process. Over the last 24 hours, we've restored 18,000 customers in Muskegon County, and we continue to add resources to restore the remaining 6,000. We're accomplishing that we've moved over 125 forestry crews into Muskegon County and actively have over 360 line crews. We have line crews from across the state, 5 states that are around the Midwest, all the crews that we have that we need, and we will be here until the last customer is restored. Now, as we look to those restoration efforts, we know that losing power, especially in the heat of summer, is not easy, and we appreciate everyone's patience through this. We've had a safe restoration. The coordination with the county has been outstanding to clear roads, to gain access, so that we can restore each and every customer as safe and quickly as possible. As an expression of our gratitude to the county, we will be providing free water, cases of water up in Montague and Montague Foods tonight from 6 to 8, as well as an ice cream cone right around that same area at Twister's. So we are very thankful for the coordination with the county the last several days. We will continue to add resources that we need in order to expedite the restoration process, and we will make sure that we get everyone restored as quickly and safely as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate it. As just a recap, we have declared a local state of emergency, and we're sending that up to the state for a governor's declaration, and we will wait and hear back on what happens with that. We'll update you on the result. And right now, if there's any questions, we can take those.
By declaring the local emergency, I mean, what sort of assets did that open up for you? Is it just more funding, or?
Generally, what happens when you declare a local state of emergency, it does open up avenues for funding reimbursement. What that looks like, we don't know yet. We're still working on damage assessment. We have to see what the full scope of that is. But yes, there's a potential for some funding streams to come open to help us with that.
Is it just basically money, or is there like other assistance, more crews can come in? I mean,
Yes, it's not basically money, but we can also take advantage of some other resources and other agencies that can come in and help us.
Like some examples.
So DNR or something like that.
When's the last time Muskegon County saw damage to this extent?
I want to say that we had flooding in 2020. I don't think it was to this extent, but I don't know all the history because I've only been here as the emergency manager for about 9 months. But I believe Matt did talk about an incident that happened quite some years ago. 1997 or 1998 windstorms. There may have been some other things in between, but I don't have that information right now.
What are just some of the biggest hardships you're running into when you guys are out there? I'm assuming it's the trees and wires, but.
So there was an extensive amount of damage to trees, and there's a lot of debris, and of course when trees come down, it takes down power lines, and then you can't really get in and do anything until those are de-energized. And Consumers has really been diligent and working very hard at taking care of that so that we can, and they have tree crews that have come in, and there's been a really great neighborhood help each other type action that has happened, neighbors helping neighbors. But we want to make sure that we take care of all of our residents, so mainly the damage is from trees and down power lines.
Worst case scenario, I mean, when can people expect to have their power, or when everything's going to be somewhat back to normal?
Well, let me have Norm address the power issue.
Like I stated, we are diligently working right now to restore the remaining approximately 6,000 customers in Muskegon County. The 360 line crews will be here overnight working. We expect to have the vast majority of our customers restored by the end of today. We will have some that go over into tomorrow. There's some things that are outside of our control. We're seeing a lot of electric masts that are ripped down from homes. Those need to be restored before we can hook up their power. But we have the crewing, we have the resources available to restore most of our customers by midnight tonight.
Do you have any advice for residents that have been struggling with this? Because I personally was without power for 2 days, and it was very hard. My groceries spoiled a little bit. It was not fun. So what advice would you give to people to stay strong through this?
Absolutely. I'm going to say what Renee said. It takes a community at times like this. We have been in the community. I was out in the field all day yesterday. You could see the active partnership between friends and neighbors to do what they need to do to take care of each other. We're going to be there tonight in Montague to hand out water. That is essential. We know that losing your electricity is difficult and creates many challenges. We have been out active in the community, and it makes me feel good. I can see the community themselves helping each other.
Is Consumers offering any resources or incentives or reimbursements for anything?
So if you call Consumers Energy, we will follow our processes for that, and as well as going to the Consumers Energy site for other community outreach that we have.
Certain areas of the county hit harder than others, or is it pretty much countywide?
We had a lot of scattered countywide. Some of our southeastern jurisdictions didn't get hit as bad, but most of the northwest area, Laketon, Whitehall, Lakeside. So Lakewood, White Lake, Montague, Twin Lake, Lakewood Club, White Lake. Those areas got hit the hardest, and everybody's been doing a really great job. Our road commission, all of our partners, police, fire, EMS, road commission, Consumers Energy, have been doing a great job of really working hard to get everything cleared up. And I've actually been really impressed by their response. And it is really helpful that they all sent people to our EOC so that we could talk to each other and collaborate and come up with a plan and tick things off our list that needed to be taken care of. And I think we're sitting pretty well right now.
A lot of times, big events like these, people are curious and they want to go out and see for themselves what has occurred. I mean, what advice do you have for them? I'm assuming you would like people to stay away, but I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Well, the first thing we need to be concerned about is life safety. And it may be dangerous for people to go out just to look because there are still maybe some trees that haven't come down yet that maybe are leaning. There are power lines that we still have to be concerned about. And, you know, it's tough when people are trying to recover in a neighborhood and there's a lot of traffic going through. So just be considerate. And I would say, you know, let's not do that because it interferes with people who are actually responding and trying to bring recovery to everybody that's been through this situation.
In the beginning, I think you said that there had been some injuries. Do we know how many or how serious?
Only two injuries, and we reported on those early on. One was a jogger that got hit by a tree, or a tree branch, I think it was, and then another was a car tree situation.
Okay, so there hasn't been any since that initial.
No, which is phenomenal, only having 2 injuries with such an event like this.
Was it because of the alert system? Did you guys alert with the windstorm? I'm not sure what the weather was like here in Muskegon, but in Grand Rapids it was crazy. And I had an alert and I heard sirens, so.
We only have 2 sirens in the county, and they are owned by individual municipalities, and they have control over those sirens going off, so that would be a question for them. We don't have sirens. We generally rely on the National Weather Service to give us that information, and generally we're paying attention to that. If I know that there's something coming, I'm usually paying attention to that, and so are our partners. I think that a lot of times consumers will stage crews if they think that maybe something's going to happen. So we're paying attention, and we try and get information out to the public as we can.
And I know this summer we might have some more severe weather. Are you guys making a plan in order or anything? Because I know like last August we had a crazy tornado, so.
We're always planning. Anything else?
Also.
Okay. Thank you.